This is the Rabid Hedgehog, and this is going to be my ride and review the 2017 Ducati Monster 1200. That's right, the Monster 1200, not the R. So this one here is a 1200, 135 horsepower, and not 160 model like the R variant. Got some pictures all around it that we'll look at, and we'll climb up here. I'll put all the detailed specs in the description. Like I said, I want to try to do the new thing for, the reviews and everything later, but at this moment in time, it is a ride event, so I got to kind of do my old one here. So up here, we have a full color TFT screen. We have the tachometer coming around on the outside with a digital speedo. We have our speed average, trip time, clock right there, air temperature, water temp, total miles, and the trip odometers right there, and then our averages of speed and all that fun stuff. There are ABS settings that you can thumb through as well, and there's also traction control settings as well that you can do. Neutral light, ABS, so you got your bright light, turn signal over here, oil, fuel, and service engine. Go ahead and get it started up here. Get this all ready to go. On the controls here, you have your controls that take care of the trips right here, up and down, and then of course your traction control settings, all that fun stuff. Have your horn. You have your turn signals, basically turn and stop, and of course your bright is up here. Over here, you got your start and stop button right there. Beautiful looking bike. Sits a little tall, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and take her for a roll here. That's nice. Love the growl this thing has. Alrighty. Now the Monster is the quintessential sport naked. It's one of the best looking bikes to me when it comes to the actual sport naked segment. I love the trellis frame that it has. I love the way it looks. It feels very, very interesting. You're actually tucked in pretty nicely onto the bike to ride it. Mirrors are nice and wide out. You can see around just fine. Well, this thing is nice and quick. Now, what's interesting is I don't see a gear indicator here. That's probably because I don't know the bike too much yet. That I'm not playing around exactly. If I can sneak in through there real quick, I can. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't see a gear indicator, but that's all right. I have to say that in the sunlight with the sun directly behind me, you can kind of see it is a little difficult to read the output right there on that screen. It's a little dark. This thing has a really, really smooth shifting transmission. Super smooth transmission. And engine braking is fantastic as well. Clutch release on this motorcycle is a little bit more than halfway, right about there. So that's kind of an interesting point, but it is a hydraulic clutch. A lot of them are a little bit further travel than your standard good old cable clutches, like you see on Harleys and some of the other models as well. But my Night Rod has that same kind of really late release clutch. Woo! I'll take it easy on her. She's quick. Now this bike is a 6-speed. I'll go ahead and jump up to 6-speed. So if you're going down the highway in 6th gear, this bike will travel around 3,500 RPMs, a nice little purr. It does feel a little bogged down if you're in 6th gear, so of course recommend go down to 5th gear, even 4th gear. 4th gear still at only $4,000. So with that being said, whew, this thing pulls. Okay, so with the colors on there, the red line is at about 10.5. 11 grand is maximum, and then you got the orange starting at 6, so don't go over 6. And normal everyday, just hold it up and wide open kind of thing. Now we do have a very good amount of wind today, but this bike is very planted in this wind. It actually holds it really well. As a rider, you are sitting down in a very tucked in position, a little bit more aggressive than your standard sport nakeds, like the Triumph, Triumph Speed Triple. And the Kawasaki Z900, this is still a little bit more aggressive than that even. Chassis on this bike, you barely have to even think about moving. You can see it's very flickable. Just immediately you can get over. Try to get a couple of turns out of it, but unfortunately on this test ride it's pretty much straight roads. But I'll try to see if we can get something going on. Now this bike has been rode throughout the day for this demo event, and I will tell you that I definitely do feel heat coming from the engine on my feet, especially around my ankles. You can definitely feel that. Alrighty, let's see here. Get her. Oh yeah, she turns great. Downshift here. Brakes are phenomenal too. Good set of grabbers on the front end and back on this one. Use in unison, you're going to stop in a hurry. ABS, of course, as well. All right. This bike has a fantastic purr. I hope you can hear that through this helmet. That sounds great. Now the suspension on this bike is also very compliant as well. Very bouncy roads here. And although stiff, I'll hit these bumps and you can hear my voice here. There we go. There. Not too bad at all. As I go down those bumps, you'll hear a little cut in my voice because it does get a little choppy, but not too bad. Nothing that preload probably won't work out. Man, this thing has some great pull on it. Like I said, not the R, so it does not have the full 160 horsepower package that the Monster can offer, but it still has plenty of get up and go. It's very, very spirited. Fueling on this bike is precise. It is not bad at all. Whenever you get into the throttle, you can definitely feel where you are. You know what you're doing, and you don't have to worry about it misstepping. Come on, people. It's 50 through here. You can let me roll at least a little bit, right? I'm doing this all in second gear right now. This thing is... it'll rev out. There we go. Let's get a little bit of freedom here. This bike doesn't even feel like it weighs a thing. It just dives in. It's definitely need some twisties for this bike. I definitely want to have a lot more fun. Now this is a chain-driven bike, single-sided sling arm on this one. Man, this thing sounds just fantastic. Downshifting, hear that thing roar. Brakes are just super good. Really well put together machine. This bike definitely, when you're riding on it, you definitely sit on it, you're locked into it. It becomes one with you, and I love that. Don't have very much strain on your wrists or anything. I mean, it's just beautiful. The seating position, like I said, a little bit more aggressive than most Sport Nakeds, but perfectly manageable. Clutch is light. Just a joy to ride. Gets up to speed so quick too. This is definitely a smile-inducing machine. So at any rate, folks, when it comes down to this Ducati monster, now I'm not going to ever go off and say that, you know, these bikes are unreliable or anything like that, because let's be honest, there's always bikes that will do very well from every manufacturer. But the way this bike rides is fantastic. And if you're looking for a real rider's bike, a bike that you can take out and enjoy on daily rides, go to the twisties, go to the mountains, this bike is comfortable for both. I'm not going to say it's an all-dayer, you know, put bags on it and all that fun stuff. I'm saying that if you're going to go riding with friends for the day, out in the mountain roads, out around town, maybe out in the back to home, this is the bike for it. It is a fantastically put together machine, very well behaved, very good on power, just an overall joy to play around with. Woo! This is a fun bike. So at any rate, thank you for joining me on this first ride of the Ducati Monster. This bike is fantastic, and I definitely would say, if you're looking for a real rider's bike and you just want to enjoy your weekends and go around canyon carving and having a good time with some friends, this is definitely a machine to consider. Have a great one, folks. This is the Rabid Hedgehog, and you keep the shiny side up.